Time is 12:30. We are very happy to be joined once a week by the manager of your Houston Astros, Joe Espada, with us here on the program. Skip, how are things on this Tuesday?
I'm doing well, guys. How you guys doing?
Nice to hear from you, Skip. We're doing great. Thank you. I was trying to think of a way to open up our conversation about the first 18 games. And obviously, you know this. I know this. Your squad is better than 6-12. I mean, it just is. And I think you're going to regress back to the norm. But it feels like to me, the first 18 games have been disjointed, not necessarily by a decision or one player, but just never cohesively playing well collectively as a group. Is that fair? And if that's not the word I would use, what would you like to use?
No, it's fair. One day, we get the pitching, executing and getting the job done, and then. One day the offense is picking up the slack on, it's very inconsistent. We haven't been able to put everything together, both offensively and defensively, for a stretch of 3 or 4 games. We haven't been able to showcase our potential and how good we've been in the past. So the first 18 games is a little bit of a roller coaster. And every day we come here, we try to make sure that we go over mistakes that we're making adjustments, getting all the coaches involved and making sure that we clean things up around the edges.
When you're talking about cleaning things up, is that a lot of video? Is that extra fielding practice? Is that extra time in the cage? Could it be all of the above? What have you noticed? Because your team's not young anymore. It's not a bunch of babies that are enjoying this for the first time in Major League life. You've got a couple of young guys, but you got some veterans in there as well. What are you seeing that your own guys are doing and taking personal responsibilities for where they would like to be that they're not right now?
It's more conversations than anything. This is a veteran group. There's some video involved. We have our normal routine, pregame routine where we get our work done. But it's more conversations, meetings with the hitters, talking about approach, talking about focus, having an extra few minutes on our game planning meeting prior to a game, just to making sure that we think outside the box, making sure that we are covering the areas that we need to make sure that the players are prepared to get on the field and players to be able to perform.
Joe Espada with us here on Sports Talk 790 for his weekly Tuesday visit. Skip, Josh Hader, when he was signed, I think the entire city of rabid Astro fans were just crazy about the notion of Abreu in the 7th, Presley in the 8th, and then Josh finishing things in the 9th. And to my earlier point, you haven't had a lot of opportunities to do that. Has that been part of the struggles that all three of them have had, is that it hasn't come into form in terms of going one after the other like they thought they would when this team would be playing at its best?
Yeah, and you know what? I still want our city to be excited about, the back end of our bullpen. These guys will turn it around. It's just a matter of us getting to having the lead, being able to get those guys in the game at the right time, so they could do their job and get us the wins that we are expecting to get. It's been kind of inconsistent. We haven't been able to get ahead of hitters, finish hitters up. So that's just been part of what's been going here for the first 18 games, which is things haven't settled. But I still want our fan base and our to be excited, because these guys are really good pitchers and we'll turn things around.
When it comes to Josh, and I want to go a little inside baseball, you can get analysts that will talk about what he sees, they see on television or what they listen to on radio, and they say, all right, well, the velocity is still there, and that hasn't been an issue. It's ball placement, it's movement. Are you seeing that kind of stuff right now? Because it felt like yesterday in particular, and we're just using one game, and that's not always fair, but we're going to deal with what we saw yesterday. Everything was hit by the Braves. It was hit very hard. It was very, very approachable for that lineup they had out there. And they're a good lineup, by the way, as you know.
Yeah, yes, they are. But it's just more command. You got to be able to hit your spots. We know in this level, regardless of how hard you throw, if you don't hit your location and command your pitches, execute your pitches, it's hard for anyone to get out. So I think that's been some of the issues that we've had, and we continue to strive to make sure that we make adjustment and we continue to give the pitchers feedback to make sure that we start getting better results.
Let's get a few positive things in the conversation here. First and foremost, I made no bones about it, and I've been a lifelong Astro fan, Skip, that Jose Altuve to me is the greatest Astro when you take the sum of the parts, and he's starting to separate himself. For this young man, and I still call him young, batting 400 at this point of the year, he's just raking for you, and it's just every single day there are things I can count on, and it's Jose Altuve giving me at least one or two hits and a home run here and there. I just continue to marvel at his excitement and his elevation of his game.
Yeah, he ignites our offense. He's the one that gets us going, and I've been, you've seen him for years. I've been with him for the last 7 years, up and close, and I've seen him from the other side of the field. But it's amazing how this guy can get barrel to the ball. Pitchers execute pitches, and he still managed to get barrel to the ball. He's just a tough out. He grinds the bats. He competes. He's exactly what we are trying to do as a whole, trying to have all the hitters, every at-bat means something. Every at-bat having a purpose. That's exactly what Jose is doing. And when he goes, we go. So having him carries us through. Our offense will follow him, and it's just a matter of time.
Skip, you've got a very young rotation. You got Hunter Brown going today, and I know he's probably feeling it because the second half of last year probably wasn't his expectations, and he struggled a little bit this year. Is there and I don't mean to dumb it down here, but is there a deep breath moment he needs to get and just let everything, just trust his stuff and not worry about everything else? Because it feels like to me that he gives up the one hit, and the way the world is on his shoulders.
It's a lot of that happens with a lot of young pitchers. It's hard for them to let go of that one moment or that one pitch. For us as their coaches and leaders around him, just to show confidence, to listen, trust your stuff, trust your defense, execute your stuff is better than anyone on our staff. You have stuff to be an ace. You just got to believe it. You got to trust it. And those are the things that we do with Hunter every single day, just to trust the process, execute your pitches, and let go. You have to be able to turn the page quickly in this game if you want to be successful.
Would you say that about Arrieta yesterday? I know a little bit of early troubles on, but he settled down and got you a little further in the game than he did the first time around, and I think probably he felt significantly better about his performance yesterday than he did his first start.
Yeah, he did. I agree. And his presence on the mound was better. I thought his stuff was much, much better. Execution was there. And he's going to have success at this level because he understands how to prepare yourself, how to make adjustment one start to the other. He listens. He's coachable. And I really like his presence. He faced a pretty good lineup yesterday, and I thought the second inning we didn't make a couple of plays behind him, but he still managed to continue to work through trouble and get us 4 innings. That we needed that out of him, and I thought his performance was better than what the box score showed.
A few more minutes with Astros manager Joe Espada here on the Matt Thomas Show. Skip, it has been widely reported by multiple media sites that the organization is going to bring up Forrest Whitley. And I know you guys have not officially said something about it, but for those that have been longtime Astro fans, they know about Forrest Whitley. You had a chance to work with him a lot in the last few years in spring training, overcome injuries and suspensions and just not having the good stuff. Was there something you saw in spring training that said, hey, you keep working on this, and there'll be a time we'll call you up, and when we do, we know you'll be ready for the situation. Add on top of the fact you got a rotation right now and a bullpen that's been used a lot so far in the first 24 games.
Yeah, the Astros organization have been excited about Forrest Whitley for years, since we took him in the first round many years ago. When he's healthy, he's got electric stuff. He can, his power, he can spin the ball. It's just a matter of, being healthy and keeping him healthy. And, he did show those things in spring training. By the time he was healthy, he had the little finger issue. but looks like he's healthy and he's ready. So when the time comes and he gets an opportunity to pitch here in Houston, I think fans and we all going to be excited about that.
Also, it sounds like to me that JV could be thrown for you this weekend. You've got maybe Framber coming back soon, so it looks like you're going to have some interesting decisions to make with your pitching alignment here in the next couple weeks. I'm sure there's some intelligence meetings going on right now just about those gentlemen in particular.
Yes, JV will throw a side today, and based on how that goes, we'll schedule him for this weekend against the Nationals up in Washington. Framber it's coming along pretty well. He's playing catch. Once we could get him a couple of days of playing catch, long toss, we get him on the mound, and we should be getting him also pretty soon.
Do you have to have those guys? Are you sure you're ready? Are you ready to do this? You're not trying to come back too fast. I know when teams struggle, they want to come help the team as quickly as possible. Are major league athletes able to do that? And do you have to have that heart-to-heart with those guys to make sure they're absolutely 100% ready to come back when they're supposed to be?
Yeah, and we're doing what's best for both JV and Framber. I think we will not rush them into putting them in a position where they will not be in a position to succeed. I think both of them understand that this is a long season. We only play 18 games, even though that we need them on our rotation, but we need them to be healthy to help us win games. So I think we have taken our times. I think both are on the right track, and we're excited of having them both once they get here.
Hopefully, yes, very, very soon. Skip, thank you for the visit as always. Good luck tonight against Atlanta, and safe travels this weekend to our nation's capital. We appreciate the time as always.
All right, guys, thank you.
All right, that's manager Joe Espada with us here on the Matt Thomas Show, with us every Tuesday for his weekly visit. Anything you want to comment on, anything he had to say?